Attention A1 Trading Show fans, if you're looking to get funded, we've got a solution for you. Our partnered prop firm FX2 Funding helps traders get access to up to $200,000 in trading capital. FX2 Funding is not your average prop firm. We've chosen them as our partner because of their fair examination rules, their professional and available customer service, and they have an outstanding reputation in prop firm space. Here's a quick look at their evaluation process. First, they don't have a time limit on their evaluations. That means that you can take your time when passing your evaluation. There's no pressure to rush your trading. Second, there is only one phase to pass in their evaluation before getting access to your funded account. Also, their evaluation fees are fairly priced and fully refundable upon passing. Once you're funded, you'll be able to keep up to 5% of your trade profits. Finally, what we know swing traders will love, you can hold your positions over the weekend. For a limited time, 15% off any of their account challenges with promo code A1TRADING, and off any account challenge with code A1TRADING15. If you're ready to get funded, we're dropping a link in the chat right now, and you can all find it in the description down below. So go ahead and sign up today. Promo code A1TRADING15. Now back to the show. Attention, A1 get funded. We've got a solution for you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. Sorry for this morning. So people in the chat are saying that the voice is lagging here. If anybody is experiencing that, let me know what you guys see on your end. There is a, I'm just doing my presentation kind of stuff, and then we have a producer who helps with that. So if you guys have some issues, please let us know. Give us some explanations. Is everything okay now? Let me know in the chat. So we're getting a lot of people who are saying that it's good now. Okay, cool. Thank you guys for that. Appreciate that. We do rely on you guys sometimes for feedback just to see if the stream is running okay, because from our end, it looks one way, and sometimes from the viewer's end, it does look another. So, all right, let's take a look, guys, at the markets for today. We do have a big start to the week here. We do have the Empire State Manufacturing Index coming out in about just under 5 minutes now. So we have some time here to take a look at charts, to take a look at setups. Couple things. Last week, I didn't take any, I didn't take any new trades. I rode one trade all week last week, which was that NASDAQ trade, which many of you guys probably saw on the channel. I did end up getting trailed out on Friday for my for that profit that I took. Sorry, this is SPY. I was looking at NASDAQ, which we can pull up here. This is where I got trailed out for a profit on Friday. We're now keeping an eye on, the NASDAQ for pullbacks this week. That is one thing that I will be watching for myself. Again, this trade is all out, and I'm looking for a bit of a deeper retracement before looking to get back in. So NASDAQ is on the watch list, but let's talk about how this upcoming news could be meaningful to traders and investors out there. As we get started, let me just also remind you guys, there's 274 of you guys. If you would just hit that thumbs up button, it helps to get more people in the stream and let people know. It's kind of like an algorithm thing. Like when everybody starts liking the stream, I think it starts shooting recommendations out to people like, hey, come watch the show. Something's going on here. We got news coming out in about just under 5 minutes. So we will be reporting that and then talking trade setups and ideas for today. So Empire State Manufacturing Index coming out in 3 minutes. How does this, or why does this matter? Well, it's a leading indicator of economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and changes in their sentiment can be an early signal of future economic activity, such as spending, hiring, and investment. So we do have that number coming out in about 3 minutes, which is likely to cause some volatility in the markets. Let's take a look at how the markets are starting out this week. You can see a nice move to the to sort of off the lows, but still a really big sell-off here that we're staring down the barrel of, right? A massive sell-off in the dollar last week, which I think helped with the NASDAQ idea that I had, because again, this dollar weakness came off of the Fed essentially being less likely after all those great inflation numbers that we had last week. That seems less likely that the Fed will be as harsh on their monetary policy tightening cycle. So that, of course, lends towards some softening on stocks, right? Some easing on what was holding down the stock market so much. Well, dollar Still continues to be in a what I would consider a pretty strong downward trend. This is a 4-hour chart. And when we take a look at this chart, what you can see here is that every little attempt to make a move higher has been met with a lot of sell pressure, right? Even these minor pullbacks, sellers are coming in and just pushing this market down. We've entered into consolidation to start out the week. Of course, volatility likely to increase a little bit here this morning, as we do have news in just under 2 minutes now. And I want to talk dollar, but I want to talk gold and euro and pound. There's so many things we've got to catch up on today as we get started. But let's take a look at the hourly chart. If you're watching the hourly for the daily, for the day traders out there looking at the dollar, keep an eye on, of course, the tops and bottoms of this range. You have resistance here. Now you can see a lot clearer on the 1-hour chart than trying to look at the 4-hour for this. 1-hour chart shows us that we have support down at 99.79, right? The dollar index probably, this is actually really key. I'm glad we brought up the hourly chart, guys. Look at this level. And what I want you to notice about this level, and we are about 1 minute out, so I'm going to prepare my charts here for reaction to the news. This is the 100 even price tag on DXY. That's a big psychological level. And you can see that's had a major resistance point several times here already off the 1-hour. Let's set up the chart here, guys, so we can watch the news reaction. I'm going to drop things down to the 15-minute chart for a moment. So 15-minute in the top left, we're looking at the dollar. Let's keep the NAS 100 in the bottom left. We're going to put gold top right. That's fine. And let's take a look at like euro in the bottom right. So we've got our charts pulled up here, guys. And again, we're going to be reacting to the news. And then from there, we're actually going to talk about setups. So don't go anywhere after the news spike. We will be watching to see if this perhaps produces some opportunities to trade gold or the dollar. I would be interested in a bigger pullback on gold. So we'll see if that comes into play here. Breaking news. All right here, guys, and we'll see what we get in terms of the news number. Should be coming out right now. Nothing substantial movement here. Dollar is trailing higher, though. Dollar continues to be strong, coming up close to that $100 mark on DXY. NAS 100 is pretty much flat on the 15-minute chart. Gold, a little bit of a spike off the bottom. Euro coming down here. Dollar strong. And let's see what we got in terms of the number. It should be coming out 1.1. So better than expected in terms of economic output. This would make sense as to why perhaps the stock market is staying positive off this. Yep. Dollar also strong due to, again, that's showing some strength in the U.S. economy. So yes, very, very interesting to see. Again, another strong economic number for the U.S. here, 1.1 compared to minus 3.5. Why isn't this causing a big spike? Well, we go over this often on the channel, but sometimes when it comes to news, first of all, sometimes there's not an immediate reaction. Sometimes there's a delayed, as the market responds to a number reaction. But on the other hand, sometimes, a big nothing surprising means the markets don't move that much. The spikes you guys are aware of when it comes to news are usually off the back of something very, very, very surprising. Those are what causes big spikes on news events, not what is expected comes out and then it spikes, right? That wouldn't make sense. What really causes news spikes to be significant is when something comes out unexpected and very surprising to market participants. So let's go back to kind of our standard approach here. News is out. Again, I was making the point with the dollar index that the 100 mark is a really key level of past resistance because a couple things. Of course, we can see that sellers have stayed strong in this area, but notably, it is also a round number play. Again, this would be getting us into the 100 handle. That's a 3-digit number compared to a 2-digit number, right? It's a big difference. And psychologically, a lot of traders may be watching this 100 index or 100 mark on the index to potentially sell the dollar. So it's something to think about. Again, I am pretty dollar bearish. If you can't tell, I am looking for opportunities to sell the dollar here this week. There's a couple setups that I'm interested in, but I have to be very, 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 very transparent about this. I'm not in a rush to sell the dollar at 100. I just think that that's probably a level that maybe day traders would take advantage of. But again, for swing traders, this dollar index is very, very oversold in my personal opinion. So I do think that there's room to come down. Now, what does that mean for trade setups? Well, let's go to gold here, guys, and I'll show you guys where I'm at with the gold chart. So the gold chart looks really good here to me on the upside. And as I pull up this chart, the question is there an opportunity to perhaps trade gold long this week? And, here's the thing. I do think so, but I think we just need a little bit more of a pullback. I'd be interested. I've made a couple points. There's a couple areas where I'm interested in gold. If you're watching gold with me here, I am pretty bullish on gold right now. We do have a pretty strong level of lower time frame support. If you're a day trader, and I like to distinguish this because day traders watch my show, and so do swing traders. We have a mix of different types of traders. We even have position traders, people who are longer term in nature. This gold pullback actually could be an opportunity, in my opinion. We've stayed in this range for a while. Gold may be something to pay attention to. Real quick, guys, let me know in the chat, which charts would you like me to pull up? I do have a request. A couple people saying they'd like to look at some yen pairs, euro yen and pound yen. Happy to take a look at some of those. Also, if you guys would remind me or let me know what you would like me to pull up on stream, I'd be happy to cover some charts here for you. We will be going over COT reports once Frank is in the office. He's still making his way in. So whenever he is in, we'll go over Smart Money Tracker, COT data for the week. It is Monday. We do this every Monday. We talk about what Smart Money has been buying or selling. If you're in desperate need to take a look at it, feel free to pause the stream here and take a look. This is where we're currently positioned, or not we, but the institutional money. Hedge funds are very long. Things like euro, gold, dollar. I'm sure we'll be doing a more in-depth breakdown once Frank is on the live for the show. So we'll be talking about that here in just a bit. By the way, guys, what you're looking at is the COT report data. If you don't already have the COT data and you'd like to play around with it, we have tons of data on the left-hand side here. Let me just a little background. I've been trading for a number of years. When I first got started, my background is in software engineering, and I have a passion for obviously trading and for building tools and software and stuff. So I've combined the two, and that's the business that I run, A1 Trading. We build tools, software tools for traders who are looking to level up their game. If you want access to the tools that I use in my videos, live streams, as well as Frank and I are the developers behind this tool. We also have another developer programmer on the team. So we have several people behind this tool. If you guys would like access to this, we are doing and setting up calls today to go over the tool, to give you quick tours, to answer questions that you may have. If you'd like to set up a trial or a tour of the software or set up a Zoom call with someone on our team, we'd love to meet you. We'd love to chat with you about the tool and see if it's a fit for your trading. If you'd like to do that, click this link that's being dropped in the chat right now. This link will take you to a sign-up form so you can get more information. Again, we want to make sure that this tool is a fit for you before selling it to you. It's something we've worked very hard on, and we are not just trying to give it out to anybody. We're trying to give it out to people who genuinely are looking for better software tools to help them in their trading. So click this link. If you have any interest in figuring out more about our software, we do have free course material that comes with it. Actually, it comes with, even if you don't buy it, you can still get the course material on the Edge Finder. You can still learn about how the strategies work. If you'd like more information about that, all you have to do is just fill out this form right here, and that will allow you to get all the information you need. So in terms of the watch list here today, so when I'm looking for setups, guys, on these streams, you'll usually catch me going over to this watch list signals tab. It is essentially the output of the Edge Finder. So it is taking into account all of the different metrics that you see on the top hand of the screen here. All of these things are taken into account, and then we get a scoring system. So NASDAQ is still on my buy list. Same with the S&P 500. We're going to keep an eye on the S&P. I am looking at gold as well for possible buys here. As you can see, I do like GJ as well, but I need to take a look at the technicals on that. So let's actually do that now. We're going to take a look at GJ here for a moment. So GBPJPY, we'll take a look at this one here. So pound yen, kind of a messy chart. Let me start fresh here. I'm going to look at the daily. So in my opinion, yes, this chart has made its run, but I don't necessarily trade based off of, well, it's already moved, so it can't move higher. I trade, generally speaking, off of, if it's moving up, I'm looking to be buying, and that's just the name of the game, right? I will put stops in my trade to control my risk, but I actually don't hate the idea of looking for longs in a pair like this. Here's GJ on the 4-hour chart. We've been putting in since Look at this, the way this respects this zone beautifully. Higher lows here coming in. There might be something intraday that could be taken advantage of here. Again, we're bouncing off a longer term level of support that we just marked on the daily chart. I think this thing has continuation potential. You also have, you had this kind of situation here where this lower time frame counter trend was coming into play. Sellers were able to hold this pretty well, but then we broke out beautifully and even found support on the retest. So I do like this one on a long side trade. Even where we're at, I don't hate it, to be honest with you. So let's talk a little bit about this GJ trade. We only have a +3. So let me come back to GJ, but this is actually one that I'm thinking about potentially taking a trade on. GJ, Euro Yen. I need to take a Euro Yen look because Euro Yen actually gets a higher score on the EDGEFINDER. Ooh, I do like this chart. This chart, I'm going to be honest, I like this better than GJ already. Euro Yen, I do actually really like this setup. This is a pretty trade, guys. We've broken out of this downward structure here. Let's do this. We're going to do I like these parallel channels. I don't know if you guys like these. I find them to be really cool because I generally speaking use zones because I don't think markets move perfectly with specific prices. There's just too many people participating and looking at this chart to react perfectly to a single level. So I like to kind of draw things as zones. And so it makes a lot of sense for me with trend lines to kind of do the same thing. In fact, I think what I might start doing, I'm not sure, but I might start coloring my parallel channels as well. Let me just experiment with this for a second. So that's that. I want to do the background is what I want to do. Let's just see. This is not the right color. Hold on. Let me get the right color. I think that's the right color. That's pretty close. Do I like it? Do I not like it? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like the colored zones, just like I do with the colored supply and demand zones? I don't know. This is very important stuff, guys. I promise. Not actually, but visually it is important that it makes sense to you. So I don't know. I'm experimenting. Anyways, couple ideas for Euro Yen on the lower time frames here, guys. We have a potential break and retest could be interesting, and then of course a retest perhaps into this zone could also be interesting. Hey, Ivan, what's going on? I didn't see you there.
Nick, like the thing is like I was in the stream an hour ago and I said, pound yen, that's the low of the day. And I'm like,
oh, I missed
dude, you're late.
Out, didn't I? Are you in pound yen, Ivan?
Yes, of course I am. And then in Euro yen. Like,
awesome,
of course.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm an hour late to your ideas. I had to well, Ivan, you got the time frame jump on me, I'm in here in the office usually about 7 a.m., which, I'm up at 5:30, so I can't get here much earlier, but I should have been streaming. You're right. I should have just started the stream, and maybe Ivan, we just need to start doing 24-hour streams. What do you say?
Yeah, why not? Like so we never ever again
we'll just run it through the weekend. Even we'll just stay here even the markets are closed. We'll just stare at them anyways. Good to have you back on the show as always, Ivan. If you guys don't know Ivan, real quick, Ivan is one of our coaches here at A1 Trading, and him and I have been doing these streams together for quite a while. Ivan does both group coaching and individual coaching, which you can find out more information about within our Discord channel. Today we're going to be going over some setups as we usually do. Ivan, are you looking at yen pairs a lot, or are you looking at anything else? Obviously you've got pound yen and Euro yen you're looking at. Anything else you're looking at?
Oh, euro, dollar, pound, dollar. Also everything. Like I'm looking at dollar, I'm looking at yen, I'm looking at S&P 500 for the first time in a million years.
All right.
So in all the yen pairs, like Aussie yen, Euro yen, pound yen, New Zealand yen, except for CAD yen, because I would say that is still very much bearish. Until it breaks 106-ish, then I will start getting interested in it.
Okay. So pound dollar and euro dollar, I'm very curious. What do you think about those? And how would you be playing them?
Okay. Okay. So I'm trying to take away my excitement because this is great. I just think this is going to continue. Like we said, was it last week? We had a discussion about CPI, and I came on and like saying this is the moment. I told you guys it continues, and it's going to continue. Now the only problem I have is FOMC is next week, so that for this week, sorry, next week. So for this week, we might have dollar bullish news. If we get dollar bullish news, woohoo! Then that's another entry. So this one, I am either going to scalp after a new higher high and then a pullback, or I'm going to wait for it to fall and then I'm going to look for some kind of reversal pattern or smaller time frame, or 1 hour for that matter. But I need either continuation or I need a reversal if it starts dropping below 112. And also I've seen some saying that we should be getting buys again around 111.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's a good point though that you made that, because next week we do have really, really market moving news. And it does, for those of you guys who are newer to fundamentals, who watch these streams, what Ivan pointed out is that next week we have a Fed meeting in which, of course, during those, they make important monetary policy decisions. Monetary policy decisions dictate very heavily what the market does right now, especially, right? There were times where it was less impactful, but lately, ever since the inflation storm that we've had since 2020, monetary policy is everything for markets. And right now, with that meeting on the horizon, there is that potential, as Ivan pointed out, for some profit taking ahead of that event. If you're think about this, if you're somebody who's managing a large amount of money, and you just rode that NASDAQ trade, or that pound dollar move up, or the euro dollar move up, if you're in those trades, you may be saying, okay, well, I'm managing tons of money, and we do have a major news piece that's coming out next week, and I don't know what's going to happen there. Maybe it's time to just lock in some profits. And as Ivan made the point there, what that can do for us as traders is it could perhaps push the markets back down for a brief period here as markets digest all of the recent gains, and perhaps set us up for some trade setups that look really good. I'm looking at pound dollar, Ivan, and I kind of like this chart as well. This one has moved back a little bit more than the euro has. So I think possibly I'm on the same boat as you. I like gold long this week if I can get a pullback. Euro looks interesting as well. Pound looking interesting. I think my preference is looking at gold and possibly the indices if I can get them. But what do you think about? You mentioned S&P. What's your thoughts on the S&P?
Oh man, I hope that you would never ask me.
Give it to me, Ivan. I need it. I need it. I love the indices.
I can't remember this trade plan when that one came along. I guess this is from the group meetings or whatever. But what I'm looking for now, I either want a deeper retracement, back down to 44.60, or just a small little high and then a pullback, and then a stop below these lows here, like very close, very scalpy. I just want to see the volatility that New York comes with, and then see if we get a deeper pullback or if we start rising again. So looking for a buy.
And you mentioned that 44.60 mark. I've got that one marked on my trade as well. And for the price action, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, I want to show you. So right there on Ivan's chart, see that breakout, right? Look how much conviction that break above 44.60 came with. That is a beautiful, strong, in Ivan's case, blue candle to the upside. It just had no remorse and just blasted through that area. To me, what that signals is that the buyers, quote unquote, I like to use the word captured at that area. They totally just wrecked the bears at that level. And so if price comes back into that zone, Ivan and I both had that marked on our charts. This is the cool thing about, again, you do this for long enough, what you find is that a lot of traders, there's my chart, right? So I've got my chart on the screen now. Ivan's got his, and these are both things that we had marked prior to even talking. So this is an example for those of you guys, when you talk about technicals, sometimes people say like, oh, nobody uses technicals, they don't work. We're looking at the same thing. We're spotting out zones. And Ivan and I have been doing this for a long time. So a lot of traders and investors are going to have those sorts of levels marked in their chart, and they're going to react to those areas. So I do like also the S&P for a possible pullback. I would love to see a deeper retracement, perhaps down to that 4460 on the S&P. NASDAQ as well. I'm also interested in long side, but it's got to give a little bit more of a retracement because it's had such a strong rally recently. I do think that there's that room, like I said, for some profit taking. Ivan, what do you think about gold?
I had a small little meeting with okay. I had a small little meeting this morning. I'm like, I need two things from gold. I need either a brand new higher high, because I'm like, so what is currently happening on gold technically is that it hasn't risen as much as any other dollar pair. Like it's really just paused ever since the initial move. And the reason has to be, why has it done that? So for me, brand new higher high, continuation or a deeper pullback, even though 1940 looks like an okay level to buy it from, but I think that it's actually not going to hold. So the only thing that I really want to see and have to see is a break above 1960 and continuation.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I think I would say I definitely like the idea of a breakout through the highs. I think I probably would take a stab at that 1940 level, maybe 1936, where we previously had these ginormous candles, like these big breakaway candles. I'd be interested in possibly picking up gold if we do get a retracement down to that 1936 area. Could be interesting. But again, like you mentioned, gold not performing against the dollar so much as perhaps some of the other currencies out there, like euro dollar, pound dollar. Those things have just made serious moves here. I do like gold. Like I said, I put this out on my Sunday analysis video. I like gold, but I don't like it long here. I think this was kind of a day trader's attempt. It did make a move, but again, if you're talking about more of a swing trade perspective, which is more, kind of what I focus on, probably 1936 looks a more attractive there. So interesting move there. Ivan, anything else you mentioned? Actually, run us through real quick. You have euro yen, pound yen. Can you show us those trades? We talked just half a second about those. Show us what your game plan on those is.
So my initial thought is, what is strong, what is weak. And it's very easy to be like, okay, something is strong, something is weak by looking at the chart. But fundamentally, Bank of Japan has still not done any changes to their yield curve control. They're still ultra loose. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yen is bearish. And yen as a euro still has a very strong currency and it's still very strong fundamentally. So for me, I'm like, it's an easy piece of lemon squeezy trade. I just happen to be alive at that low of 155. So I'm like, you can go back in the everyone else can go back in the recordings and look at what I said, and I said this is the low. If you have if you're planning to buy it, probably use your whatever rules you use, and this is probably the time. And I was right about that, but it can always come back down again. So I was just there at the right time, at the right place, at the right time. The other thing is, it is at support, broken, come back down. And to me, is it a breakout continuation trade slash reversal of trend trade? Both of them. So this is my sweet spot. This is my trading setup number one.
Yep. No, and I really like that that euro yen chart you've got pulled up. I mean, it looks so ready to pop, and we'll see if it does follow through. To add to your point, I also think yen is just incredibly. It is the outlier when it comes to the majors right now. Right, all the other central banks, for the most part, are have been on tightening cycles, and at the very least, some of them are walking back from those ultra high interest rates that we've been seeing relative to the last 10 years or so. But yeah, not so much with the Bank of Japan. They've pretty much stayed flat and not unchanged, or nothing changed since last several years. So and then now you got pound yen here. So did you also take pound yen as well?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So that's also a time of because I didn't put this one on what do you call it, a limit order. I normally do that, so I'm like, I can leave it alone. But I was there at the time. I'm like, this looks great. So So anywhere between like 81.20, 80, 180, 80 is like a great area to look for it, at least, with a stop loss at 179.50, and target is 184.30, previous highs, kind of a thing.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. No, I mean, I like the yen shorts, and I'm kind of on the same page. If I could find them, I might be looking for that break and retest on euro yen if it does occur. But I definitely, like you said, I think the entries were this morning, so I'm not going to rush anything. If I catch them, I catch them, and if I don't, I'll. I'm kind of impartial to my indices in gold anyway, so I'll keep an eye on them. But yeah, you've got Aussie dollar ideas on this one.
I just want to point it out because Gareth says keep it simple. So what has happened this morning is that China came out with some GDP and some industrial production numbers, which was not as great as anticipated. So this Aussie is, I would argue, in itself weak, and then dollar is weak. So this is a contestant of who is weaker and weakest. So even though you would like the order list look like a great buy, I would be strongly advised against, but I would not take this trade because Australia needs to be strong as well as dollar being weak for this one to be a great buying opportunity. So I'm mentioning in this because I'm staying away completely from this. Secondly, it doesn't have a higher high, so I'm out of this.
Fair enough. And I think, the Aussie, we've talked about this a little bit in previous streams together. It's an interesting trade right now because of the exposure to the slowing Chinese economy. A little different than perhaps, euro dollar, Aussie dollar. Australia does a lot of trade with China, so it is quite exposed to any potential slowdown in the Chinese economy. It's an interesting kind of side spice to the Australian dollar. The cool thing is when you trade these things for long enough, guys, especially if you pay attention to fundamentals, you learn the different impacts on different currencies. So if you're talking Aussie, it's of course China, and it's also of course commodities market. The commodities market being hot can oftentimes cause price appreciation in the Australian dollar. So very, very interesting on that. Ivan, any last second thoughts before we go? We got our next segment starting here, so I might have to boot you off the stream here pretty soon. So, pretty professional. You know how it goes around here. Any last charts or ideas?
Last thoughts. I think the high of euro yen is going to be around 20th, and then after 20th, it's going to fall down to August. So I'm just going to hold this until the Friday.
Okay, and that is just making reference to seasonal trends, which is something you focus pretty heavily on, right, Ivan?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Guys, if you want to learn more with Ivan, he does coaching webinars within our Discord community throughout the week. He answers questions. He goes through things individually. I know on these live streams, there's 357 of you guys watching. So if you need more individualistic help, if you need more, private sessions, that sort of thing, Ivan does offer those things. He also has his own YouTube channel. It's linked in the chat. Producer just dropped the link in the chat. So click that link, guys. Make sure to subscribe to Ivan on YouTube and make sure to reach out to him. If you are inside of the Discord already, shoot him a DM. If you need some extra help, if you want to join the coaching webinars, they are available to you as a A1 Trading member on our Discord channel. So make sure to take advantage of them. They're packed full of value. So Ivan, thank you for joining us on the show, and we will see you back next time, man. Have a good day.
Thank you very much for having me.
See ya. Yes, guys. So always good to have Ivan on. And like I mentioned, Ivan is one of our coaches within the Discord that we offer. We do have a free Discord channel available. If you'd like information about that, click this link right here. So when you do click this link, it's going to take you to a form. The reason we have a form is because we have people who sometimes join with like scammer bots and spam bots, and they try and ruin our Discord. Please don't do that. If you'd like to join our Discord, just hit that link, fill out the form, and you'll be added into our Discord channel. If you don't know what that looks like, let's pull this up. So inside of the Discord, I share all of my trades in depth. We also do, Frank has shared his trades, and I'm not sure if he's coming on the show or not today, but Frank does his trades. You guys may know Frank if you watch the streams regular. So do not miss out. It is a free opportunity. Now, of course, the trade alerts, these are reserved for VIP members, but within the free version, you do still get access to plenty of downloadable PDFs, trading analysis throughout the week, plenty of great free value there. So take advantage if you have not already. Again, the link is in the chat right now. In just a second, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back. I do have some trades that I may be looking to take here on stream. We'll see. Give me just a moment, and we're going to thank our sponsors here for just a second, and we'll come right back and talk about trade setups that I may be looking at to get in myself here today. So quick word from our sponsor, 8cap, which helps to make these shows possible. And by the way, if you guys do want access to our software, you can get it free with 8cap. Check this out. We're going to go to a quick break with them right now.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans. If you're interested in getting free access to the EDGEFINDER or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partnered broker 8cap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to 8cap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now back to the A1 Trading Show.
All right, guys, and we're back, and I'm looking at Euro Yen. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little jealous of Ivan's entry. He got a beautiful entry on Euro JPY. I'm looking at it myself for possible breakouts. I want to take this down to the 1 hour chart and talk a little bit about what we're seeing here happening. Euro Yen possibly breaking out here. And I know that, some traders here may choose to, on the break of this, we've got, guys, we've got like 1 minute left to this candle. So I'm going to watch this here on Euro Yen. If we're able to close outside of this, I'm not, I like to wait for breaks and retests. So I'm not going to just enter this outright. But I know that there are probably a lot of traders who will look at this and just say, oh, this is just worth a buy on the break. Looking for that continuation. For me, I've got to see a little bit of a retracement. Like I said, I haven't already caught this trade, so I am a little bit jealous, but I would like to see if this thing kind of makes a pop up into this zone. Pullbacks could be an excellent opportunity to get long. I do like Euro Yen, like I said, on the long side here. If we can get it, breaks, retests could be very interesting. We've got 30 seconds left on this candle. Let's also just take a look at pound yen for the day traders. I know for forex day traders, pound yen is probably, this and gold are probably the two most popular trading vessels, if you will. Pound yen, I'm going to be honest, the 1 hour chart does not look as pretty as Euro Yen. Euro Yen looks so clean to me. But again, just going to see how this candle closes. It does look like we've got, 4 seconds left. This thing is going to likely close outside. There it is. Closed outside of resistance, guys. And that's a pretty impressive breakout here, I would say. The question is, does it last? And for me, like I said, any squeeze up into this area here and pullbacks could be very interesting for an opportunity on the long side. So currently we did not quite get the full squeeze. So, I'd like to see this thing go a little bit further, and then pullbacks could be good. I know it's very specific. I just like to see a level like this get really broken. And, if you are looking at this on the 4 hour chart, it's not as clear, right? You can see we basically just hit the top of this wick. So I just want to see it squeeze a little bit higher, and then any pullbacks could get me into a trade. So I like Euro Yen. Euro Yen probably top of the watch list here today. On the currency side of things, quick look at gold here. Oh my goodness, gold really tanked. Like I mentioned earlier, gold for me, probably an interest around 1936 if we do get a bigger pullback, but that is a ways away. So nothing rushing there. Guys, I did mention that we're going to take a look at the COT report data, and we are going to bring in Frank for this. We can go ahead and bring in Frank now and say hello to him. Hey, Frank, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Frank, happy birthday, man.
Appreciate it.
Hey, everybody in the
Going
chat,
old.
can you guys do us a favor and just light up some happy birthday Franks? It is, it was his birthday over this weekend, but of course we weren't live streaming. I know, Frank, that you were dying to live stream on your birthday, but unfortunately today will be our only option to do that. So welcome back to the show, of course. And Frank, as we get in here and as people flood the chat with happy birthday, Franks, all your adoring fans love you in the chat. What are we looking at smart money? Are you seeing anything interesting as we get started today?
Yeah. So I still like the indices.
Okay.
NASDAQ looks good. S&P's I guess, mixed this time around, but they kind of go together. All the indices, that, and I still have an interest in gold. I think I heard you say you want to wait for it to pull back some to like the 1930s. I
Hmm.
can see that happening too. Pound, I like pound yen because the short bias on yen we've had for a while now, and then COT's backing that up still, and pound is getting increasingly long. So yeah, I like pound yen, euro yen, just anything short yen basically. But yeah, same
Fair
sort of
enough. Yeah.
sentiment.
And
Here's
Frank,
uh,
I've just pulled up the indices here for you because you made mention to them on the COT report. So walk us through just a little bit of what you're talking about there. I've got, again, I just isolated, you've got SPX, US 30, NAS, silver, and gold on the screen. And for the newer people in the audience, what this is referencing, this is the COT report data. This is showing what hedge funds and asset managers in the US are holding as of the most recent filing. So you mentioned some stuff on the indices there, Frank. What do you think about this divergence between NAS and Dow? I thought this was kind of interesting.
um yeah, I don't really know. I'm not really sure what the reason is for that, other than maybe I guess tech stocks are more in demand than the blue chips and things that are, I guess, are more stable. So that could mean something like the speculation in the markets is growing. Um, so I don't know. S&P and Nas usually kind of do the same thing. The Dow's just its own sort of machine. So I don't really look at the Dow as much as the S&P because it's so diversified. But
Yeah.
the fact that Nas is seeing a lot more demand means that sentiment's probably way more speculative now than it was in previous weeks. So
Yeah, it is an interesting divergence, I will say, because the Dow oftentimes represents for many traders like it's like the value ETF, right? It's like what you buy when you're like, I don't know, 60 years old and you want to put something away that's really safe. That is usually a very popular index for people who have more money and they're kind of waiting around. They're trying to keep it in something value heavy rather than more speculative. Which when we talk Nasdaq, for people in the audience who do not know, the Nasdaq is comprised of a lot of tech. It's very heavy weighted tech. Of course, what we're talking about with these indices for very new traders, NAS 100, US 30, SPX 500. Those numbers represents the number of companies that are in the underlying asset group. So NAS 100 refers to 100 companies of varying size, but a lot of it is tech. US 30 is the top 30 very stable companies in the United States. You're talking about things like Coca-Cola, Walmart, that sort of thing. And then, of course, the S&P 500 is a very mixed. It's the top 500 companies in the United States. So Frank and we typically, I personally trade a lot of NAS and SPX 500. I don't trade a lot of Dow. I think Frank, you're the same, right? You don't trade Dow very often. I mean, you got to be careful with these things, right? Dow is
used to trade Dow.
yeah.
You can trade Dow.
Yeah. And one reference, guys, also, please note that Forex brokers, if you're trading indices, a lot of people do not like trading indices when they're trading on Forex brokers for a very, very good reason. One that Frank and I are very well acquainted with is the fact that Forex brokers, they have huge contract sizes on these things. When you're able to trade these things on the futures market or ETF variations, which is what Frank and I do on a US stock exchange, you're able to not use nearly as much leverage and they're actually tradable without having to have a ginormous account. So that is something to think about. But Frank, pivoting here, latest on gold. Do you have any thoughts on gold?
Kind of. I got stopped out over the weekend on Sunday. Um, but yeah, like you said, a pullback to like 1936 or below, somewhere where we hit this demand zone on the previous top. Yeah, I think that would be a good setup. But yeah, gold likely moves in, I would say, waves.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple days where it just takes off, and then it consolidates, it comes down. So we might see like some kind of flag pattern here. The fact that demand has been rising so much in the past couple of weeks, especially on the, from the Fed and just from inflation numbers cooling, just like good news across the board for gold and indices. So I see a lot of demand picking up. I don't really think because of this lower low we saw on the daily chart back in June that it necessarily means we're gonna, continue in this downtrend that we've been in since May. I think we found our support level, and I'm pretty confident that gold's gonna keep making its way higher, but there's gonna be a lot of pullbacks along the way because it doesn't really move like indices. It just kind of, it has its runs and then it comes down, consolidates, and then that gives us time to trade it, which is kind of convenient, I guess, for gold traders.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it does give more opportunities, at least, especially recently, right? Indices have just been moving like in one direction. It's been very hard to catch pullbacks on indices compared to gold, which has seemingly had a lot of pullbacks going on. Frank, I got to show you something here on my screen. I went long silver this weekend while the markets were closed. The reason was because I actually bought some physical silver this weekend. This is just for fun here. This is what I bought this weekend. So I picked up some silver, Frank. So this is kind of a trade alert in a weird way. I picked up 9 additional ounces of physical silver. This one right here, this is the Canadian maple leaf. These are what are called Britannias. These are from the UK. These are from Canada, and more UK ones. I picked up 9. This set of 9 here is what I picked up. So I don't know. I'm long silver.
You went to a show again this weekend?
I did. It's my nerdy hobby. Now, guys, this is not like traditional coin collecting, I guess. This is more just like they call this silver stacking. It's basically these are bullion. So this is not actually like circulated coin. It's not like a quarter or a dollar. Though it does represent, I think, from Canada. I think these are like $2 or $2 Canadian if you wanted to, but you obviously would not want to do that because the silver content is worth. I picked these up for about $28 a piece, which may sound weird because silver itself is trading, I think, at like 20. Let's see, actually, what is silver? Silver is at 24.72. So you pay over when you buy physical silver because, of course, there's costs associated to, the dealer has to get paid and the shipping companies that move the silver and the manufacturing companies that make the silver. So there's premium baked into the price as well. But yeah, so just thought that was a fun side note. And so I think for me, it's more of a long-term investment to buy physical silver because obviously day trading physical silver doesn't make any sense.
I was about to say.
Imagine
with
Frank,
these silver coins. Are you gonna bury them in your backyard?
I just have like a little box of them. I really don't have that much. I think I'm at like 16, 17 ounces of silver. It's really not that much. But Frank, imagine if you're at one of these shows and you're trying to day trade it while you were there and you're like, you bought it in the morning, you come back and it's up a little bit and you're like, I actually want to sell it back now. You'd be like, you were here this morning at 8 a.m.
I'm sure you could. I just don't know the opportunity value there.
It would be terrible because you'd go back and he'd be like, okay, well, I can buy it back from you for like $4 less because he's, when they buy it from you, they buy it for less because they have to hold on to it. And I don't know. It's an interesting market. Not meant for short-term stuff. Definitely meant to hold on to it for like 10 years and then you sell it back. So anyways, thought that was fun. Frank, thank you for joining me on the show, going over a little bit of COT data here this morning. And of course, letting me show off my purchase this weekend. And we will see you back later on. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for the happy birthdays, everyone.
Yes. Everyone loves Frank, man. I'm telling you. See you, Frank. Frank, I swear he steals my thunder every day. Everybody loves Frank. I get no love. You guys just hate me. I'm just kidding. You guys are very kind to everyone on the show. Very cool. Thank you guys for for the support. As always, we do appreciate, we put a lot of work into these shows behind the scenes. You know, it's not just me here. We have several people who make these shows possible. And we call it the stream team. The stream team very much appreciates you guys' positive comments, and hitting the thumbs up button on the stream really does help us. If you guys enjoyed the show, make sure to do that real quick. And also, before we go, remember, if you guys want access to our software, you can try it out. And last call here, let me make this point. If you guys are still with us here at the end of the show, our 50% off sale is ending this week. And I want to show you guys, if you do not already have access to the EDGEFINDER, this is probably, and I know this sounds like a sales tactic. It kind of is, but at the same time, I'm being serious and I'm being honest with you guys. This 50% off sale is probably going away for a while. We probably will not do half off on our software again for quite some time. We did a huge sale this past week, and this week is the final week to get access to 50% off of the EDGEFINDER. If you would like information on that discount that you can get here right now, while we're on stream, you can actually get 55% off. So you get an additional 5% off. All you have to do to get the 55% off discount is message us right here. This is going to take you to the behind the scenes team that helps people get access to our software. I mentioned earlier on, we are a software company in Atlanta, Georgia. We build tools to help traders take their stuff to the next level. We use the tools ourselves, and we trade using the tools every single day. If you guys want access to the software before the price goes back up, it is doubling next week. So this is the final call. If you want access to the EDGEFINDER for over 50% off, you can get 55% off if you message our support team as we end the show here today. So take advantage, get yourself the software if you've been thinking about it. This is like I said, the last chance. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you back on the next show. Thanks, guys.
And that concludes today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to keep you up to date with the latest market coverage through our daily videos and articles. If you like our content, make sure to subscribe for more. You can get funded today up to $200K with FX2 funding. Use our code A1Trading15 for a special discount. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.